wonderful lineup for your team this weekend. How is everyone feeling? What has the conversation been in the few days building up to Madrid?
Yeah, okay. I'm quite lucky to have such a good riders on my side. So for me, it's a little less pressure. But yeah, we're always very motivated. We are really wanted to win with Madrid Emotion, so even more in Madrid. Very important.
Eduardo, it's, if I'm not mistaken, find yourselves in 6th place at the moment, Madrid Emotion. What needs to click this weekend? What is that small thing that needs to happen to make everything perfect this weekend?
Well, first of all, we need to do clear rounds. We are close to it. In Shanghai, we were very close to win it. And okay, at the end, it couldn't happen. We were 5th, and okay, that helped us to climb a little bit in the board. But I think in Madrid today, with the horses and the riders we have here, I think we can really try to push and try to have a podium this evening.
Michael, Manuel talks about having great riders around him. I think you all have the great riders around you, but what is the dynamic of the team like when you have these 2 men alongside you? They're very complimentary of you. What is the dynamic like when you're outside the ring, in the stables, in the hotel? What's the relations like?
No, I think it's good to know that we can go on very well with each other. I think we all gonna need each other here today to get the best result as possible. I know we all three can do it. We have the right horses here to perform well, so I think we have to see that we don't make any mistakes ourselves today. Trust on our horses and yeah, try to get the best out of it today.
I know it's a very special place for you in particular, Eduardo, to come back. I know there's a real hero's welcome for you when you return to Madrid. So best of luck for GCL Round 1. I hope that there will be a spot available for you by the end of the day. Maybe we have a second, better conversation later on. Madrid Emotion, the home team, coming home this weekend, looking to try and go even better in 2025 as they did in 2024. For now, let's take a break, reflect on what took place in the previous stage, and remind you as to what took place in Shanghai.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, leg 3 of the Longines Global Champions Tour and the 3rd GCL leg, their 9th season. This man won the championship, the Longines Global Champions Tour season, standing in 2014, and New York Empire are going to blow that time into the Shanghai skies. What a round that is from Scott Brash. But now we welcome Valkenswaard United. Gilles Thomas is perfectly cleared. 2 to go here for the defending champions to come back in a title defence bid on Sunday. And you wouldn't bet against it in that kind of easy, effortless form for Gilles Thomas. Super clear round. Shanghai Swans trying to defend their title to put pressure on the teams remaining. And jump to the last fence. The home crowd are delighted.
What a fantastic facility, incredible arena. For the horses and the riders and the crowd. The sport's getting bigger here. Very exciting for us to ride, and Shanghai is at home, and following on from last year's win, this is a lucky place for us.
So let's talk about what the impact of Shanghai was on the overall rankings. That's the big question here. Coming out of Shanghai, coming into Madrid, what do the overall rankings look like? Well, because of that victory, easy to understand that the Shanghai Swans find themselves leading the table. They are the team to catch, and everyone else around them needs to play catch-up. They are the ones that are trying to catch the Shanghai Swans, who today, by the way, if we take a look at how the team starts, they have a somewhat early start. We'll get into the start list later. But the Shanghai Swans with Christian Allman and Katharina Romberg will be looking to try and keep that leading momentum. That is what the overall standings look like in the GCL following the a lot on this show. They are historically one of the most successful teams in the GCL, going back to its conception back in 2016. They have won the title many times. They have won the GCL plenty of stages all around the world, and because of that, somewhat always the focus will sometimes fall onto the Valkenswaard United team. Well, Rosie Turner took some time to catch up with them, who currently find themselves in 3rd place. Let's hear a little bit more from Valkenswaard.
It's going to be very tight. It's going to be very tight, and they are quicker indeed as Valkenswaard United.
Valkenswaard United are the team that were reigning champions here in Madrid last year, and they are back to try and reclaim that title again, but with a slightly different team. So please welcome Hans, Gilles, and also Marcus as well. We're back in Madrid. Gilles, you won here last year with John Whittaker. What are your memories of 2024?
Oh, good memories. Was actually the first global for Hermitage as well. And then rode him 2 rounds, double clear. And then together with John, it's always nice. We try to ride with such a legend. And then, we were, I think, already in the lead after the first round and then second round again, so it was very nice.
It was very close, though, last year as well. It was very much down to speed in the end. Just how tough was that?
Yeah, indeed. I think we had 8 points. Before we started, we had 8 points in advance. But I had 1 time fault, and then John had already an early fence, so he needed to be inside the time. And actually, he was taking his time a bit. So when he was riding to the last fence, I even shouted on him that he had to go a bit quicker, because at the end he had also 2 time faults. So that made that we end up with 7 points. So that's why we just made it. But that made it even more nice.
Hans and Marcus, would you ever shout at John Whittaker to keep going faster?
No chance.
I said earlier, no chance normally, but he's still young and he was allowed to do it, and it was the right decision.
Well, it did make you win, so it was definitely not the wrong decision. Marcus, I remember Gilles saying a while ago that you are his idol and he's been looking up to you all of his career. What's it like being on a team with him, apart from being shouted at maybe occasionally?
Okay, first of all, that means how old I am. But it's always nice to hear. But we know each other now a couple of years, and I think it's the third year already we ride together.
I think fourth. Maybe.
Or fourth year already, and even the last show in Shanghai, both of us were on the podium. So I think the age makes not the big difference. We are a good couple, and we try the best also here.
You've also got Hans here this weekend. You're fairly new to the team. How are you feeling being a part of it?
Yeah, I'm a new one in the team, and I know we are a really good, strong team, and I will do my best.
It looks like you've got a strong team for the weekend as well, strong horses as well. What do you bring to the team this weekend?
We have all our best horses here. Me too, I have Elysium here, and tomorrow in the first round, I don't have to ride in the team. Second round, we will see how it works tomorrow.
Tomorrow we have our best Grand Prix horses already in. Then you can see already how important it is. And the boss, Jan Tops, puts the pressure up, and we have to deliver.
It's a very obvious thing to say you're coming in here competitively, but just how much do you want to reclaim that title this weekend?
We know what can happen, but all 3 of us, we want to have a double clear tomorrow and to help the team. And I think our horses were in a good shape today, and I think we have a very big chance, but we have to grab it.
Hans, have you had a look at the other teams that are in it tomorrow and their horses? Who do you think might be your biggest threat tomorrow?
Valkenswaard United.
You're the only ones here this weekend. Jill, what about you? Is there anyone that you might think that is the one to beat?
To be honest, I always try to focus on my rounds and then see what's coming. So I don't really know yet which horses and which teams are here this week. But that we'll figure out.
The returning champions from 2024 look to try and double that up in 2025. Valkenswaard United of Gilles Thomas, of Marcus Eining, and of Hans-Dieter Dreyer, speaking to Rosie Turner, hoping to try and replicate that success that we saw last year at this very ring. The important question is, where do they start? So I remind you that the start list becomes quite crucial. Perhaps not as much in round 1, but always in round 2 more so. But a later start, generally, regardless of round, is always going to be more more appreciated. Auto-generated by computer, this is how the teams find themselves coming out. Prague Lions will be the very first team to come out the gate today. Fernando Martinez Soma and Peter de Vos. That is growing into a really good partnership for the Prague Lions, powered by the Czech equestrian team. Valkenswaard, early start for them. Marcus Eining and Gilles Thomas will come out for round one. Shanghai Swans, the championship leaders, come out in third place, followed by Paris Panthers, New York Empire, the Scandinavian Vikings, Istanbul Warriors. What a lineup they have. Abdel Said and Henrik von Eckermann. Doha Falcons and Rome Gladiators will make up the first half of the table. Then into the second half that you see there, from the Basel Cosmopolitans all the way down to the Mexico Amigos in 17th place. Let's take an opportunity to catch up with Rosie for the first time one-on-one here this afternoon to get her thoughts on how things are going here in Madrid. Rosie Turner, thank you very much for your time. Very happy to have you on board. Let's talk about who are the teams to look out for, Rosie. Who do you have your eyes on?
Yeah, thank you, Mark. It's brilliant to be down here. The course walk has just started, so all the teams eagerly getting round as many times as they can. We have some really fascinating horses this weekend, actually, because we've not seen quite a few of them before. I've counted 9 new horses that we've never seen on tour before. And I want to pinpoint the Istanbul Warriors, powered by Carpe Diem Equestrian Team, because they are actually bringing in 2 new horses that we haven't seen on tour before. Henrik von Eckermann brings in Minuteman and Abdel Said brings in Quaker Brimbells. That could be really interesting, and we will catch up with them in a bit and try and figure out why they've done that. I wonder whether Madrid is actually a perfect location to start their horses off. But 9 new horses as well. Valkenswaard United, I have to say, they are the reigning champions from last year. They're looking really strong again this year, coming here with their top horses. Shanghai Swans as well, looking really good, and Riesenbeck International as well. I think another thing really crucial to point out, Mark, though, is that we have 5 under 25 starting. You just see a tractor going behind me, making sure that this surface is perfect for the riders and the horses. But 5 under 25s are starting in round 1, and I think that's really crucial to look at, to see that the teams are really putting their trust in the under 25s and giving them a chance, which is what this is all about, Mark.
Absolutely, Rosie, spot on. Thank you very much for that insight. And to follow up on your point of the under-25s, you make such a wonderful, wonderful point on that note. This competition does a huge amount for young riders, giving these under-25s the opportunity to not just jump alongside their idols, but to jump alongside these idols who then become teammates and help shape them for the future. This is a look on some of the under-25s that find themselves here in Madrid this weekend. And as you can see, a handful of young riders all present here in Madrid, and believe it or not, already LGCT Grand Prix winners on that list. That is how fast these young riders are developing because of the GCL, because of the performances and the experience that they gain by riding in these GCL competitions. I remind you that Gilles Thomas at one stage was one of the brightest under 25 riders, and look at how much he's developed over the last 12 to 18 months, all because of the experience gained from the GCL riding alongside those senior riders. Speaking of, let's take a quiet little moment to get to know some of these under-25s a little bit better. We'd like to ask them some difficult questions, some pressing, teasing questions to these under-25 riders on tour in 2025.
The under-25 riders are really stamping their mark on the GCL teams. Now, we've got quite a few of them here this weekend, so we thought we should get to know them just a little bit better. Who is your biggest hero on tour?
Simon. I work with Simon, so I have to say that, but I feel that for sure, yeah.
Oh, geez, there are so many. I can pick one.
At the moment, I'd have to say John Whittaker is still going and doing amazing.
I think Marcus, the name?
From Italy, Emanuele Gaudian.
Simon Delestre.
Let's say Scott Brash, who just won the Grand Prix in Shanghai last week.
If you could swap any horse with any rider here, whose horse are you stealing, just for one round?
I think Milo from Nadia.
For sure, one of Sophie Hinner's horses.
I just saw Gilles Thomas, Hermitage Cologne. He looked delicious out there, so I'd love to give that a try.
Don't know, it's a good question.
I think Hermitage Cologne, yeah, for sure, yeah.
Hermitage Cologne.
Hermitage Cologne from Gilles Thomas.
What's your best advice you've been given so far in your career?
I don't know, I suppose don't get too high when you're going well and not too low when you're going bad.
To be positive and follow your dreams for sure.
I guess in this sport, perseverance. It's a long career, which we're lucky to have.
But just to feel lucky, because I'm here and they're jumping in the Global Champions Tour with amazing horses. Need to be grateful and always hope for the best.
And lastly, if your team was a band, your GCL team, who is the frontman? Who's the singer?
Definitely not Zoe. I'd say I could be if it was. I like country singing, so I'd guess me.
For sure, Luis Felipe de Azevedo.
Lead singer would be my father. For sure, he's the one more linked to music in our team.
I'd say Andreas.
I don't know, to be honest. I don't know if we have a lead singer. Duarte, maybe. Duarte Sabin.
Edwina.
Jerome Gary.
I don't know, I would say Olivier.
Christian.
Well, that's a slightly better understanding of some of these under-25s, as I see plenty of this floating around the ring here in Madrid. The sun is out and it's an absolutely gorgeous summer's day as we get ready for a big summer to follow over the next couple of weeks. I remind you that the Global Champions League and Tour is going to travel all across Europe over the upcoming weeks for that always busy summer period that has such a major effect on the overall season. So many quick stages, back to back, huge amount of championship points on offer in very quick succession. It becomes a very crucial part of the season, this second third of the season that we're about to enter in. That is what the Madrid ring looks like as the course walk officially is underway. All of the riders walking each line between each and every fence, trying to calculate the distance to make sure that they and their horses know exactly where to take off and where to land. A lot of talk around Henrik von Eckermann, the now former world #1, in his new colors for the GCL. That is a big comment for the 2025 season. Once again, back to Anna Rosie alongside Henrik. Let's get some thoughts from von Eckermann, who now jumps in his brand new jumper. Rosie, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. As you said, Henrik von Eckermann alongside me now. Not only a new team, but a new horse on tour as well. In fact, Abdel brings in a brand new horse on tour into the first round as well. What was the thinking behind that?
Not so much thinking. The horse is not new to me. I had it for around 8 months, and he's done very good things, Minuteman. So I think the ring here and everything suits him very well.
Tell us a little bit about Minuteman, what we can expect from him.
Clear round, that's what we expect, or I do anyway. No, he have done very well lately, and I feel confident, and normally he feels very well on the big grass field. It's a horse with a big stride, very careful, so yeah, it'll be interesting.
Alongside the other teams as well, we've got about 9 new horses that we've never seen on tour. Is there a reason that Madrid suits a new horse, or is it just potentially time of year?
I think it's maybe more time of the year, and you know, it's a little bit different. Some say, okay, I put him out on the grass because the grass is a better feeling with it than the sand, and Madrid is one of the first big grass shows. And I have to say, Madrid is one of my favorite shows. It's a fantastic arena, the footing is great. So I think, as we see here, a strong starting field, many people want to go here.
Lastly, you're also a part of Istanbul Warriors now. You're very new to the team. What did FA say to you to persuade you to come on board?
I didn't have to persuade me so much. He's my neighbor. I mean, we live very closely, and FA is a super guy, first of all. I think it's very important anyway from my side to have a team that you feel that, you know, you're a good group. We have bad days, good days, and it's important then to have a really nice group, and that was what persuaded me in the end. I felt we had a nice group, and yeah.
Realistic hopes for the team?
Top 3. Yeah.
That's good hopes. Henrik, I'll let you go and carry on walking the course. Thank you for chatting to us today. Good luck to the Istanbul Warriors, bringing in 2 brand new horses, Mark.
Thank you very much, Rosie. That is a very big call for Henrik von Eckermann. But if we take a look at the lineup that they have, this is something that we said at the start of the season. The acquisitions that they have made, bringing Simon de Lestre into the team, already having Abdel Said in that team, now a multi-LGCT Grand Prix winner in his own right as an individual on your team like Abdel Said. You now add to that Henrik von Eckermann, and all of a sudden the top 3 claims of an Istanbul Warriors lineup starts to become more and more realistic. If you recall, FVCI told us at the start of the season that they are sticking to that goal of a top 5, top 6 season finish. If they finish well in Madrid today, make up some big championship points, well, then maybe the team is on their way to a top 5, top 6 finish. They'll be 7th out the gate today. The Istanbul Warriors, powered by the Carpe Diem equestrian team, Abdel Said and Henrik von Eckermann, jumping this opening round. At each and every single Global Champions League stage, we have somewhat of a Hall of Fame wall. It reminds us of the previous teams that have gone on to win that particular stage in years gone by. Let's talk to you about the Hall of Fame winners in Madrid over the last few seasons. As we already spoke about, Valkenswaard United winning back in 2024. Paris Panthers winning in 2023. The Berlin Eagles, now known as Riesbeck International, the winners back in 2022. Shanghai Swans, current championship leaders, victorious here in Madrid a couple of seasons ago in 2021. Back-to-back wins for the London Knights. The Cannes Stars in 2017. Then dating back to 2016, almost a decade ago, for the Rome Gladiators to be victorious at the Club de Campo Via de Madrid here in the Spanish capital. The Hall of Fame, the big question now, as you saw, there was a question mark. The question is, who is next in 2025? Which team is going to join those Hall of Famers and be crowned victorious? We'll find out by the end of the night. What a glorious summer's day here again. Taking a look at the course walk behind us, the sun that is booming down on this incredibly beautiful, massive grass ring. It really is something to appreciate and something to enjoy. Something that we'll be doing a lot of throughout the rest of this weekend. Something to just appreciate. What a multi-sports ground with so much happening in and around this entire Campo Via de Madrid here. This club is known for its sport tradition, not just for show jumping. It really is a multi-sports center here in the heart of Madrid. Rosie Turner standing by once again to give us some more reaction from the riders inside the ring. Rosie, who do you have for us?
Thank you, Mark. I've got Sophie Hinners alongside of me, also bringing in a brand new horse. I think this is going to be the story of round 1, actually, all these new horses coming in. Tell us a little bit about her, though.
Nuraya, she's 11 years old. I have her since last October round. She's a very good jumper. She's not the biggest horse. She's quite small, but she's a real fighter in the ring, and I'm looking very much forward to bring her here.
This is quite a big ring, though, a big grass ring. Will that suit her being a bit smaller?
I think it suits her really well. I jumped her 2 weeks ago in Mannheim. It was sand, but it's also a big arena and massive fences. It was her first 1.60 m Grand Prix. We just had a little tap into the big water, so she was really good at jumping the fences. So I think it's a good ring for her.
Let's have a talk about this course then. We're currently at fence 10. If you could just walk this line for us and tell us what you're thinking, because it seems to be quite a tricky line as you go towards home and yet you have to turn away. So I'll let you talk through as we walk it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, for sure in the end of the course you pass the in-gate. And then there's another combination. It goes a little bit downhill here and a bit uphill there. So I think it's quite a challenging turn to also have your horse with you and balanced, and not that they go a little bit more to the outside, because there's nothing really what can frame your horse. Like, you have to frame your horse to get it into the right line here. And I have the feeling it can be a jump where you wish to come a little bit closer, because the horses, I think, back up a little bit from themselves, passing the in-gate, going back to that direction, and then a combination. It's with 2 strides. And I think we also all need to have our last concentration with us, because this is, of course, a challenging turn. And then there's just one more fence after, so I think we definitely have to not think this turn.
Yeah, don't underestimate it. It can look quite simple actually, but as you said, and actually you probably can't see on camera, but the ground is actually more undulating than it seems.
Yes, it goes all the time a little bit up and down, and I think that is also a big role in this course, how you have to judge your lines. So I think the course is built very nice, but as you say, with the ground, this can be, I think, one tricky side of the course as well.
Well, I think it's going to be all about balance, precision and riding with confidence today. Sophie, we'll let you go. Thank you so much for chatting to us. Good luck to the Can Stars later on this afternoon. It is undulating here, Mark, walking around this course. It does go up and down, as Sophie said. These younger horses, these newer horses are going to really have to focus. And it's a long course, 12 fences. It's a big arena. Balance, precision and confidence.
All right, Rosie, thank you very much. Speaking about those almost dome-shaped style here in Madrid, because of that, there's always going to be some form of getting up a hill, down a hill. Because of that speed, anticipation, the fences come at you incredibly quickly. It's what makes Madrid one of the more challenging rings in the 2025 season. Speaking of the Can Stars, let's show you then what that lineup looks like today. Team powered by the Iron Dames, the defending GCL champions. If you recall, they came in 2024 and absolutely shot the lights out. They blew everybody away on their way to glory in 2024. Today they find themselves with Sophie Hinnes, with Henrik von Eckermann, an outstandingly strong lineup. Nuraya and Chao Li coming up in that opening round for these two fantastic riders. They will be out the gate quite late today, 14th to go. Only the Stockholm Hearts, Saint-Tropez Pirates and Mexico Amigos are after them. So because of that, pretty good start time for the defending champions. We are ready to go, and we are ready to get things started here in the Global Champions League 2025 live from Madrid. Let's get the action underway.
Welcome to round 4 of the Global Champions League here in sunny Madrid at the splendid Club de Campo Villa de Madrid, right in, well, a wonderful part of the city, which, as I say, is bathed in sunshine today for what should be a fascinating and highly competitive looking competition with some of the best horses, some of the best riders, and also some of the best up-and-coming talent, both of horses and riders. So it's a heady mix for the sun-drenched crowd here at Madrid to enjoy. Perfect weather. It was pretty chilly yesterday. We've had rain around, but that probably has ensured we've got absolutely perfect footing here for this particular competition today, with the sun out and, as I say, the fun of the fair, all getting ready for what, as I say, should be a great team competition. We have, though, an individual aspect today with a number of the riders who also could be involved in round 2 of the Global Champions League this afternoon. But here in Madrid, we've had a wonderful season so far, and the course designer Santiago Varela is one of the most experienced and respected course designers, and in this splendid arena I'm sure he's going to provide all the riders with something to think about. It does look an absolute picture, but from a technical point of view, I'm sure it's going to ask plenty of the riders here this afternoon as they jockey for position, and there's obviously a speed element as well to proceedings as the riders take stock of what they have here this afternoon. And it should be a really enthralling competition, as I say, with many star names here, such as the man there in picture, Marcus, trying to improve their league standings after what may have been a rather frustrating start to the campaign for some of the teams. But the Shanghai Swans have been the star turn so far as we look here at the start list for the first Global Champions League competition. And these are the riders who aren't actually going to be taking part from the team aspect later on, but there's still plenty to play for because there's a speed element to this, and so they can come away with some decent prizes. And as you can see, looking down that list, there's a veritable who's who of big names that will be going in the next hour or so before we start the team phase of this first round. So, and then we go into the team competition, and this part here is some of the names. Henrik von Eckermann, of course, lost his #1 status, but he will be in action later on this afternoon. And Christian Kuckuck and the brilliant Checker 47 are going to be also taking part here this afternoon to add a real touch of equine stardust to proceedings. And we look at some of the other names. The Philippart brothers, well, they'll be hoping for a decent afternoon to improve the somewhat frustrating start for their particular team this afternoon. But it is a very elegant setting here in Madrid, and the guests all settling down, I'm sure, to a pretty decent lunch. Food's not shabby here, that is definitely the case here. It's pretty decent, so everybody ready, some sheltering from the afternoon sunshine here, and we will be getting ready for our first rider to come in, and it's one of the younger riders who would come. Mariana Chavez will be the first. He's actually part of the Paris Panthers team, but sitting out the first run, but going here. Many of the others may be, as I say, called upon to don team colours for the second phase later on today. But of the names early on, Kent Farrington, the new world #1, will be on a horse that I think he will be hoping great things of, and he will be 12th to go here this afternoon. Just a gentle breeze wafting around this spectacular tree-lined arena. It's also venue to a fabulous golf course which hosts the Spanish Open, I think, later this year, and was designed by the great Sevi Ballesteros, has had an input on it, the doyen of Spanish golf. But this is a great sporting venue, almost unique, I think, in the world stage, where top-class show jumping here this week, and then obviously they have golf course nearby as well, attracting world-class golfers as well. But today it's about world-class jumping, and that's what we're going to enjoy as we get ready to enjoy the first rider coming in on 11-year-old gelding. Is Mariana Chavez. It's Obi van der Klapschoot is the horse, and riders watching on to see how this first competitor will get on, as we are set fair and just having a look round. It is just a most gorgeous setting, and the first of the individual riders coming in. Lovely looking horse, this 11-year-old, and can we get off to a strong start here and see how this rides. The time allowed is 77 seconds. So we get ready, coming to the first of the 12 obstacles, 15 jumping efforts along the way. Coming to the third, big spread that. Not the longest run to the fence for. Then there's a turn back to the Global Champions fence, the Liverpool. There's the playoff fence, another upright, urged into that fence. So far so good. Now the treble. Oh, it just got a little low and it comes thundering down. Should be frustrated with getting that first fence of the treble down, because otherwise it's been good, and it's a two-stride double. And now a turn back to the final fence. Going to just be outside the time, or a couple of seconds outside the time. So 4 faults it is, well, 7 faults it is in the end, with those 3 time faults added on, 1 fence down. But for this 11-year-old, I think it's all part of the learning curve, and just looking at what happened coming into that fence, just never got high enough. And that cost her dear. And there a look of little disappointment on Marianne Esfres. Now to the 23-year-old Jean Sadran on Ivana Delmas, and that is not the start she wanted. Running free into the first, this looks a bit scary. Having to work overtime to hold this 11-year-old mare. Free running, I think, might be the description. Doing her level best to try and keep everything under control after that wayward first fence. But again, there's 2 riders in. 2 riders have both had that treble, first part of the treble down. Fence 11. It's right from the start, it never settled, and it's been a costly round. Time no issue, but that may have been part of the problem, as horse definitely was eager to go about his business. So unfortunately 12 penalties for Jean Sadran, the 23-year-old who rides for Monaco Comets. Next in, we have Kendra Clarissa Brinkhoff coming in, the 30-year-old German. Can she get the first clear round? Because she's settles down. Positive start, but unfortunately, again, a little low at that. Let's see if she can get through this combination. Oh, the middle part goes down. Well, now to the double. That was easy enough. Now turn back to the final fence. Looking at the time, that's not going to be an issue, but again, that combination proving costly. But the supporters look reasonably happy. Encouraging performance. Took over the ride from Zoe Conter on Dawa de Green Bay, but unfortunately for her, there were 8 penalties. There's 2 fences done. Now another of the young riders coming into the arena, and from Italy, and it is Giacomo Casada is next in, as Kendra just leaves, and the 22-year-old begins on his 15-year-old chestnut gelding, Vitas on Vant Paradis. Fence 5. Study and concentration, gives that one plenty of air. No, this is Fence 8. Another one knocks that first part down. It's catching them out. I'm sure the rest will be keeping that in their minds now. Time again is very much on his side, but that fence number 8, the combination is proving costly, but a good round, and puts him in the lead at this stage with those 4 penalties and the time of 74.22. Another surfeit of young guns now going early doors in this competition. Another one coming in. Henrik, as we take a look again at what has proved to be a costly fence already on Santiago Varela's course, the first part of the trip. But now Antoine Elman is on his way, riding Pegasus Dawson's Flick, a 12-year-old big gelding. Stage, it just gives that faint rattle, but stays intact. Oh my goodness me, it's all gone horribly wrong there for Antoine Herman. It had looked pretty decent, but not the first part now, and made a complete hash of the middle bit of that treble. Extraordinary that this particular fence is catching them out. Well, whether he's just decided, looks like he has called it a day. So now though, can Hans-Dieter Dreher of Germany on his grey Couscous 3, and just going to have a look at that, cantering past the what is proving the bogey fences. He's on his way. Comes now. Will we get our first clear round here? Coming now to the treble. And almost sense a bit of ironic cheers there from the crowd as the first rider manages to negotiate the treble. Now, 3 more efforts. They're doubled now. Safely through that. Time is definitely fine. So this is going to be a very good round. First clear round, goes into the lead, 70.52. Plenty of experience brought to the party then, and Hans-Dieter Dreher goes into the lead with a time of 70.52. That was a perfect exhibition. No hint of knocking a fence down. Very experienced campaigner, and the horse has rewarded the efforts of his rider with a very good clear round. And so Now another experienced rider coming in is Niels Brunsels, and he's on a 9-year-old, Gusander van der Vosberg. Nicely enough. Right, now this is the one. Can we get the second rider through this without a blemish? Oh no. The last part come down. That's the first rider to do that, but unfortunately now maybe a little bit of an experience with this 9-year-old coming to the fore. And time fine, 8 faults in the end for Niels and Gusander van der Vosberg. So moves him into 5th spot currently after 7 riders. Now next into the arena, the first of the Spanish contingent competing here this week, and it is the 38-year-old Julio Arias Cueva riding a 10-year-old Filou de Manoir. Jinking away, a horse not settling early on. Again, having to just steady. We're coming round to fence 8. Well done. Cheers from crowd here. Oh, that's disappointing, but it's been quite hard to keep the horse settled. And coming around to the final fence. Well, an encouraging round. This horse just a 10-year-old. One fence down. Be disappointed with that, because otherwise, despite the horse not at times being desperately easy to keep under control, that fence number 9 was ultimately their undoing. Well, there's the best riders here in terms of rankings this week. The world number 11, we've got Simon de Lest now on his way on Actilem. This 12-year-old man. Certainly going about it in a very positive manner. Settle down now, coming round to fence 8. That is proving a really tricky fence, even for someone with the talent of Simon de Lest. Couldn't get his horse through it and had 2 parts down. Slightly quick time, just lost a bit of accuracy through there. This may be the quickest time. Coming to the final fence, and it was 68.05, but fence number 8, once again the fence builders around that part of the course are having to work overtime. There's very few who've gone through it unscathed. Just came down steep on that middle part. So, next up, plenty of experience with the next rider into the arena, and Brooklyn Heights is the horse, this 16-year-old chestnut, and it's the mount of Dennis Lynch, the world-ranked 26. He rides for the New York Empire team. He's team manager for that, but he's sitting out round one. This horse has certainly been doing great things for Dennis. Recovery, they're coming into that previous fence. Clever. No. Good leap over the Liverpool. Over the Longines fence now coming round. Settling Brooklyn Heights into the treble. That's how to do it. Stays clear. Nicely through that. Fence 11 now turning to for the final fence. This is a very good round from the experienced Brooklyn Heights, and that is the quickest clear so far. Into the lead goes Dennis Lynch with a time of 69.93. A very good round. And puts him top of the pops at the moment. And now another experienced Spanish rider coming in. Armando Trapont is next in, the 44-year-old, who has got plenty of international experience with this horse, competing at the highest level. So they'll be hoping to put in a bold showing in front of home supporters here. This 14-year-old Bay Gelding, and that is hugely disappointing. Not what he was hoping for. This has all gone a bit scrappy right from the start. Horse to ride today. Despite rattling the first part of that, does get through it. Still stays with 8 faults to his name. Not anymore. And 3 fences down. It's not definitely easy today. Not a going day for Armando Trapont and Tornado as they pick up 12 faults. And right from the start, unfortunately for him, with that first fence down, and it never really recovered the equilibrium after that. Well, great treat for the crowd here in Madrid to see the next rider coming into the arena, the new world #1, and a horse that I think has shown got plenty of speed, but also for Kent Farrington, plenty of promise. think actually on its way now. He's riding his Greyer. Coming round now to the combination. Making it look very easy. And it's quite quick as well, eating up the ground. 69.93, the quickest so far. Plenty of height over that one. Well, just going to be... Oh dear. Up until that final fence, it was going well, but just didn't get the height he wanted leaping into that fence. So Greyer and Ken Farrington, they have 4 faults to their name. Time of 71.69, quite quick. So it puts him into provisional 4th at the moment. So now another of the Spanish riders coming in. It is one with plenty of experience, but there you can see that final fence, the Porsche fence, just unfortunately not what he wanted. But now it's Jesus Garmendia Echevarria, the 59-year-old. Callias is the horse, a 14-year-old grey gelding. And certainly, again, really hard work on that turn back. Showing a willing attitude into the fences. It's between the fences, a bit hard work. He has pricked through that. Fortunately, just got it wrong, the angle into that fence, and then brushes the top pole down. Callias now coming to the final fence, and that's a good time. In fact, it's the quickest time so far, 69.64, and did really well, but unfortunately that one fence down, he'll be disappointed. As we take a look, just see, just horse didn't really settle for him coming into it, and just got a little too close. And there's a puff of the cheek and frustration from him. Next up, the experienced Irish rider coming in, Cian O'Connor, on a 9-year-old. Genghis Khan de Londa. It's a horse that has been working its way through the grades for Cian. That's plenty of height over that one. Scope now. What about this treble? And very nicely through that for Cian. Now come running to 11. Double. 3 strides for that double. Coming round the corner. Can you just hold it together? Can he go clear? And he's going to overtake his compatriot Dennis Lynch at the top of the leaderboard with a very sharp time. Made it look effortless. What a promising 9-year-old this is. 66.86 is the time. And into the lead for Cian O'Connor and his horse Genghis Khan de Londa. And an exciting 9-year-old gelding and I think he looks pretty pleased with himself. And really showed plenty of potential there for a 9-year-old. Well, we've seen 9-year-olds do so well on the Global Champions League last year, but obviously for Kian, he's competing here as an individual. That was a good performance, and he is well in the lead. 3 seconds, almost over 3 seconds up ahead of Dennis Lynch. Now, next in from Italy is Emanuele Camilli, who's enjoyed himself on the tour so far in Mexico. Jacarino Pierce is 10-year-old bay gelding. Going flat out at this stage. Another one has that first part down. Losing count almost of how many that first part down. Just that doesn't stay intact, so he's up to 8 now for Emanuele Camilli. Looked for a moment as that was going to stay intact, but unfortunately for him, not the case. Sweeping round to the final fence. And finishes inside the time, but unfortunately for him, 2 fences down. So 8 penalties for Emanuele Camilli. Now, next up from Mexico, we have Federico Fernandez, as we just look at what happened to Emanuele here. You can see that just brushing that. It looked for an age as if it was going to stay intact, but not to be. Again, gravity took hold and it came crashing to the ground. Now, Federico Fernandez. Now it's Emanuele Camilli. We'll be riding right side of Riesenbach International. Another one, and another one has 2 down in that. What is proving the bogey fences in that combination. So many riders now being undone there. And then just gets too close to that part. So this is not, it's all unraveling a bit. And not the best at the office there for Emanuele Camilli as he picks up 12 penalties. And again, another one who had his troubles in that treble. Now, next up, it is Federico Fernandez riding Romeo, this 14-year-old grey. Just so far, 3 clears. And actually, I think he's calling it a day. He has done. Must have felt something was slightly amiss because he was going along nicely enough, but Federico Fernandez retiring. So, gave that one a big brush, but it stayed intact, but puts his hand up midway through the round and says enough's enough. Now, next up, we have Mariano Martinez Bastida from Spain. Riding Jup. 11-year-old gelding. And this is a solid start. The crowd would love to see Spanish rider go clear. To join Keir O'Connor, Dennis Lynch and Hans-Dieter Dreher, as the three have gone through, coming now to, does rattle that first pole, but it stays it, and he gets through it. Right, now can he hold it together for the final part of this round? Fence 10. Now round to 11. Gallops into it. Not every chance, and it's a quick time too. 66.86 is not going to be outside that, but all the same, that is a very good round, and goes into second spot. Does the Spanish rider, Mariano Martinez Bastida, and 68.97 the time, moves him into second on the standings. So, another Spanish rider about to come in, another experienced rider, and indeed an experienced horse who's competed well in Grand Prix. It's Ivan Serrano Saez who's next in, a horse Rain Man, 15-year-old gelding. She did well in a Grand Prix in La Coruña, but here just didn't get the height there. Taking a bit of a keen hold into it. Coming round. Oh, I think there's another one who's saying enough's enough. So another retirement. So that's two. Just coming around to that trouble he just thought. Now, having had that fence down. Now, time for the experienced next rider to come in. Andreas Skou coming in on Billy Matador, 11-year-old. See how he gets on now. The Danish rider, here we go. Pops that neatly enough. Time. Through that calmly enough. Just having to strain the horse a bit and didn't settle, and see that just lost a bit of control. And unfortunately, has had that fence down. Coming around. Good time, 68.64, but that fence down Posting putting into provisional 5th spot. After that, defence 9 after the combination, which he popped easily enough, but then just lost a bit of control going into that, and that's the reason it came down. Just with those back legs brushing that on the way through. So it's just another 5 more to go for the break, and then we'll be into the team competition. But Sana Tyson and Chiara VDH, this 9-year-old grey. Lots of young horses here this week. Some exciting prospects. We've seen one go well for Cian O'Connor here. Genghis Khan de Londa, the 9-year-old. We have another 9-year-old here. This mare. The Dutch rider. Just too low into that one, didn't quite have the propulsion to get through. Maybe that little bit of inexperience. Now settling into the fence, which is catching 1 or 2 out. Stands off well at that part. Does give the second part a good rattle. And into the final fence, but in the end, just a little bit costly. 3 fences down and 12 penalties. Maybe a little bit of an experience from the 9-year-old, but all part of the learning curve. Now, moving on now to the next rider. You see a look at a little frustration, disappointment on Sano's face there, but Julien Epiard is next into the arena on Easy Up de Grande, 11-year-old chestnut, world rank number 13, and to people first fence catching a few out. And they got away with it then, did Julien? Little ungainly, but the horse was clever. And smartly through that. Oh. That fence is one that just needs a bit of attention, that nut fence 9. After the combination, there's no let up. Time's good enough. Very good time. Not quite the quickest, but unfortunately 1 fence down for Julien, 66.91, and just 0.5 outside the time, the quickest time set by Cian O'Connor, who was clear, 1 of 4 that have gone clear so far. So it's not going to be easy in the team competition, because some experienced riders have found this quite a testing track of Santiago Varela. Now, Emmanuel Gaudiano is in, riding Vasco Momonet, this 11-year-old. So far. Just a bit steep on the second part then lost control coming up into the third part. And I was having to check to 9. Just getting a bit scrappy now. Just trying to regroup now as they come to the final fence. And 2 down, and that means that 70.63 the time down the field there, with that round currently in 13th spot. Well, 2 more to go before we have the break, and we then get ready for the team competition. And we'll see going through that combination what happened there. Well, a little bit of disappointment. Next up, though, plenty of experience with this rider, Kevin Stowe, coming in on his 12-year-old new Libro 1 Dauchot. See how he gets on. Seem to get a little unsettled into that fence. Just lost bearings. He's not hanging around, no. This is quick. That's good. Disappointed I'll have that fence down. This looks like it's going to be very quick. He's going to be by far the quickest, because he's come home in 64.93, but that one fence down means that he moves into provisional 5th here, and he did not hang around. But he's not one who tends to hang around, but just going into that, you can see just lost a little bit of the stride going into the fence, but otherwise a really quick and accurate round. Next up, 21-year-old from coming in to the arena is Inigo Lopez de la Sofranco, riding Jade, 12-year-old grey. Was in Mexico. Inigo now. So it's just the 4 clear rounds so far. Very experienced riders who have achieved that clear round, but not for the 21-year-old. That fence coming down. A little too close to the middle part of the combination, and again that just not quite getting the stride right into the fence number 9. And coming round to the final fence. Ooh. And decided he's going to retire before jumping that final fence. So disappointing end to the round there for Inigo Lopez de la Sofranco, retiring, coming into the first, but experience for him and the horse. But that completes the individual phase now before we head into the team competition. That's going to start in around about 10 minutes time, and We will start with the Prague Lions coming in to the arena, who've had a solid enough start to the season. But in that first section with the individuals and the leaderboard there with Cian O'Connor, really quick round from his exciting young horse coming out on top, the 9-year-old with 66.86, shows that quick times are possible, because Kevin Stowe, with that one fence down, he also was very quick, 64.93, which I'm sure the watching riders who are taking part in the team competition will be watching with interest. So we're getting ready, and as I say, the team phase will again, as they just do a bit of work to the arena before this second stage returns, with the Prague Lions kicking off proceedings. The form team at the moment, Shanghai Swans, will be third into the arena. They've won the last two stages of the Global Champions League, and others who are obviously Cannes Stars, they've had a win under their belt. And so get ready, 10 minutes, we'll be back for live action of the Global Champions League here in Madrid. and it's to Madrid. We have come for stage 4 of the Global Champions League as we get ready for the first round. Madrid, Spain's capital, bathing in sunshine. Such a historic venue we are at for this particular visit on the Global Champions League. And here it is, the wonderful Club de Campo Villa de Madrid is the host for the Global Champions League today. And we've had 3 thrilling rounds. Last stop was Shanghai, but now under very glorious May sunshine in Madrid, we are now ready for this first round of the Global Champions League here in Madrid. You can see some of the former winners here, Valkenswaard United. Well, they've got a strong team here and they'll be looking to win back-to-back here in the Spanish capitals, but I'm sure the Shanghai Swans may have something to say about it. They've got a strong team here as well, but many strong teams. It really is a thrilling competition. Shanghai Swans, as a result of those 2 wins in the last 2 stages, has put them top of the pops with 71 points. Cannes Stars, well, they've had a win this season, but just fell away in Shanghai and had a great chance to maybe stay atop the overall rankings. Valkenswaard United, well, they'll be looking for a win here. They're in 3rd. Then we look through to some of the teams who need to maybe move up the leaderboard, like Istanbul Warriors have a strong-looking team. Maybe the Scandinavian Vikings and Stockholm Hearts too will also be looking to put behind a disappointing start to the seasons. But all roads now lead to Madrid. The campaign obviously going through to Riyadh at the end of the season. It's really, I suppose, with we look at the end of the season when it how it will play out. But here, this first team competition, this course is not straightforward, as we've already discovered in the individual phase that has just taken place, with only 4 managing to go clear, and the real bogey fence is fence 8, the combination. But we look at the way it pans out to begin with. They take across the arena, there's a big spread there, and then coming round